What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Gonna do a quick reaction to the Tony Harrison-Jermell Charlo 2 press conference. That press conference was lit, was on fire, man. Both of these guys do not like each other. It is very personal. So I can't wait to December 21st. The fight takes place in Ontario, California. It's gonna be on and popping. It's gonna be on and popping, man. First of all, Charlo went first, and he basically accused Tony Harrison of faking the injury and pulling out of the rematch. He said when he was watching him on his IG page, and he was playing basketball the day before he allegedly hurt his ankle. I think he had something to do with his ankle. It was, put it like this, it was a leg injury. And he said Jermell Charlo said he was faking. Basically, he's saying you faked the injury because you knew what was coming. You knew what was going to happen in the rematch, so you found a way to pull out the rematch and fake an injury. That's basically what Tony Harrison, that's basically what Jermell Charlo said, man. And he basically said that he thought he won the fight. As we saw in the first fight, he's very emotional after the loss. He said he won the fight, and he claimed that Tony Harrison told him that he won the fight. Tony Harrison said he never said that. He said he lied, and Tony Harrison said he kind of showed his true colors after that fight. Instead of he said he was thankful. This is what Tony Harrison said after the fight. He said I'm glad that Charlo gave me the opportunity to fight for a world title, and I would have no problem giving him a rematch. And Charlo basically spit in his face, man. Basically said, man, I won the fight. I won the fight. And I'm the champion, man. I got robbed. And that pretty much ticked off Tony Harrison. He lost a lot of respect for Jermell Charlo. So it's going to be very, 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 very good. I just hope the fight lives up to the press conference, because the press conference was on fire, man. Another thing Charlo said, man, he said he did some interviews after the press conference. He said, look, if I thought the guy beat me and he beat me straight up, I have no problem rebounding and coming back. But he said the guy did not beat me. He didn't beat me. He didn't beat me. And the whole world seen that I won the fight. He said everybody that I ran across said I won the fight. He said he says he's not upset, because a lot of people were like, man, you kind of emotional, man. You're very emotional, man. You're so emotional after the fight. You're emotional after the press conference. He say, nah, y'all mistaking me being emotional, being angry for being passionate. I'm passionate about what I do. He said, how many undefeated fighters that suffer their first loss and be like okay with it, or be like, oh, okay, well, I lost, I'll come back again, just a bad day at the office. He said, I'm not that type of fighter. He said, first of all, I felt I won the fight, and second of all, I'm not gonna take no loss, just like, oh, it's a loss. I'm gonna be emotional about it, especially if I felt that I won. He said, I'm gonna be passionate about it, especially if I felt I won. So it was just a crazy, it was just a very, very, very exciting, and a very you could tell these guys, it's no love lost between these two fighters. And Tony Harrison got up there and called Jermell Charlo fake, basically. He said he's a fraud. He said, you up here at this press conference acting like you the hardest dude out there. You the real rough rider. You a real G. And he saying the thing about it is you pretending. He said you pretending. He said you the softest dude I know. That's what Tony Harrison say. Ain't nothing but a facade you putting on. You ain't hard. You soft. You softer than Shaman Butters. Basically what Tony Harrison said, man. Called him a hoe. Called him a pussy. It was just it was all the way he went all the way left when he got up on that mic. I guess he sat back there and let Charlo talk, and then when he got the mic and talked, he let it all out, man. He held nothing back, man. This is gonna be a great matchup, man. As far as the rematch goes, Jermell Charlo kind of said he's gonna let his hands go more. He said he's not gonna go in the fight looking for a knockout. That's a lot of people were thinking like he's gonna go hunt for a knockout. They thought that was a problem in the first fight. He was hunting for a knockout, and he ended up getting outboxed and losing a 12-round decision, unanimous decision. But he said in the interview, he said, "No, I'm not gonna necessarily go for the knockout." He said, "I'm just gonna let my hands go, And he say this guy, he basically says, I think he's kind of underestimating Tony Harrison's skills. Tony Harrison is one of the most skilled fighters in boxing. Don't make no mistake about it. His problems in his 2 losses was he ran out of gas. Ran out of gas against Willie Nelson, and he ran out of gas against Hurd. And in both of them fights, I had him. He was winning those fights. I had him ahead in both of them fights. It wasn't like he was getting beat. Just ran out of gas and ended up getting stopped in both fights, especially the Willie Nelson fight, man. The Willie Nelson fight, man, he probably winning that fight by a wide margin before he got caught and stopped. The Hurd fight was a little bit different. He was winning the fight, but you can see Hurd was starting to wear him down in the second half of that fight. So you kind of saw that train coming down the track, man. You kind of saw that coming, but in both fights he was ahead. So I think Jermell Charlo is kind of underestimating him and saying that he don't have the skill set to beat him. He said he ain't on that level. He said I didn't lose to him the first fight, and he basically said Tony Harrison don't have the skills to beat him. I think he's sadly mistaken. I think Tony Harrison has the skills to beat him, but Charlo's gonna have to be on point in this fight. He's gonna have to let his hands go. He's gonna have to try to back up Tony Harrison, get him on the ropes, work the body, quit headhunting, and use his skills as a boxer and a puncher. He can't just come in there headhunting and looking for the one hit or quit or knockout. If that's the case, he's going to lose like he lost the first fight. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, as far as Tony Harrison goes, he's got a great jab. He basically won that fight with the jab. He's able to control distance, control range. What I think he need to do that is sit down on his punches a little bit more. Now, he said in the interview today, too, that may be kind of troubling, and really, in my opinion. He said he's going to bang with Charlo. I don't think he needs to bang with Charlo because if he bangs with Charlo, he's going to get Charlo the opportunity to catch him with some big shots. I think he need to fight the fight like he fought the first fight. Use the jab, control distance, but just sit down on his punches. Let his hands go and let his power punches go. He's got a beautiful right hand. So he need to sit down on that right hand a little bit more, go to the body like he did. He did a good job of jabbing to the body. I think he need to go to the body a little bit more with the hooks. Left hook, right hook to the body. Throw a little bit more power shot, sit down on his punches, and keep using that jab. But the jab is what can keep Charlo off balance and make Charlo reset. So I think that's going to be the key for both fighters in this fight, man. I think both fighters are going to make improvements. I think it's going to be more of a firefight than it was the first time. As Tony Harrison said, like I said a few seconds ago, that he's going to sit down, he's going to bang with him. He said he's going to box him, use his skill, and he's going to sit down and bang with him. He said he wants, he said this in the interview, he said he wants Derrick James to throw in the towel. He said that's his dream scenario in the rematch, to make Jermell Charlo's trainer, Derrick James, throw in the towel. Tell Jermell Charlo, say, hey, man, you getting beat from pillar to post. This ain't your night. I'm finna stop it. He basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what Tony Harrison said. So it's gonna be very interesting, man. You got 2 high-level guys, and another thing I like what both of the guys said. They said if they win this fight, they said they want to unify with J-Rock. They basically said that fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. I think the guy from Barbershop Conversations, he said that the fight is pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered. Jermell Charlo said that in his interview with Barbershop Conversations that the fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. If he beats Tony Harrison, he's going to fight J-Rock Williams. If J-Rock gets by his fight, he's basically fighting a fight that he's the heavy favorite in. He's fighting in January 18th. He's fighting a month later after Charlo's fight. So it's probably 3 to 4 week gap between Charlo Harrison 2 and J-Rock Williams and his fight against Rosario. That's going to be a hometown fight for J-Rock. And Tony Harrison said same thing. He said if he's victorious, he's looking to fight J-Rock. He said me and J-Rock, should have probably fought a couple of years ago. He thought that their path was going to cross a couple of years ago, but they never did. But he said he's looking forward to that unification fight. So that would be a big fight. The key to that fight is, as far as, I'm not going to make no prediction about that fight till we find out the winner of Harrison Charlo 2 and J-Rock gets through his fight. But it's going to be interesting to see, will PBC try to put that unification on a pay-per-view? That's going to be key, because the reason why the PBC has to put a lot of these fights on pay-per-view is fighters, what they, their purse for a fight, what the guys are expecting to make in a big fight. And that usually makes the fight go to a pay-per-view type of TV, because a network like Fox or Showtime or FS1, Fox Sports 1, they don't have the monetary income. They don't have the money to put up for a fight, especially when you're talking about 2 champions. it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to put a fight like that on Fox. You notice, no, the Charlo Harrison too. Now that's a rematch that they put that on Fox, but 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be very hard to throw that fight on, especially if Harrison wins. He wins the fight, and he's got 2 victories over Charlo. And you got J-Rock just beat Hurd, who was the man at 154. That fight right there is gonna be hard to put that fight on Fox. You know, both guys gonna command a career high purse, and that's gonna probably force PBC to throw that fight on pay-per-view. I hate to say it because it's not. I don't think it'll be a pay-per-view fight either way. I think that's another fight that should be on Fox. You know, but I can see it being on pay-per-view. So that's the thing we got to wonder about. Whatever the outcome is of the Charlo and Harrison 2 and J-Rock once he gets by his fight. That unification fight, will it be on Fox or will it be on pay-per-view? I suspect they probably gonna have to put it on pay-per-view, you know, considering the purse demands for each fighter. J-Rock and the winner of Harrison-Charlo too. So we'll just see what happens on that end. But I'm just something to think about, you know, that we boxing fans might end up having to pay for that unification fight. You know, that's just the day and age we in boxing, man. Another thing, I'm gonna be doing a video in maybe tomorrow or maybe tonight. I don't know. It's going to be sometime this weekend. I'll put it like that. I got some news on January 25th. As you know, if you haven't heard, David Benavidez is going to fight his mandatory against Yildirim. Yildirim was a guy that lost a controversial split decision loss to Anthony Durrell. That was a fight before Anthony Durrell fought Benavidez in a unification fight that he lost, got stopped in. That was a co-main event for Errol Spence Jr. Sean Showtime Porter fight. That's gonna be the co-main event, but I got some news on that fight. As you know, that date was reserved for Errol Spence Jr. to fight Danny Garcia. That's not that fight. Errol Spence Jr. is not gonna be fighting on that date. He won't be ready. He's gonna be his next fight is gonna be sometime in April, sometime in that April range, sometime in the spring. I'm thinking around about April. But they are still trying to line up a major fight for January 25th. Danny Garcia doesn't want to sit around and wait till April, so he's looking to get in a fight sometime in January. And I have more news on that. What I'm hearing through my sources, what's going to be the fight for January 25th. I'll let you guys know about that a little later on. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.